So please welcome to the stage, Minu Park.
This is a story about the spiciest pepper. Growing up, my favorite show was The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I loved watching this character who was so cool and confident and charismatic. But I noticed whenever I saw Asian characters on TV, they'd always be depicted as the opposite of those things. So I felt this pressing responsibility to prove to the world that Asian guys are more than just the nerdy, emasculated stereotype. So to prove my machismo, I decided to join the local rowing team. I don't know why I thought a bunch of guys in spandex was like the epitome of manliness, but I did. I would soon realize, my body is not configured to row. I remember the very first time I walked into the boathouse, I was shocked. Like, I was a sophomore, 5'3" in height, and all my teammates were 6'4" and above. Just a bunch of super tall white dudes who looked like they had gone through puberty at least 3 times. And compared to these Chris Hemsworth giants, I looked so out of place that everyone assumed that was the coxswain, the small kid whose sole purpose is to steer, not row. I remember my first race of the season, I was so eager to prove myself. I rowed like my life depended on it, trying to get my team across the finish line, and we were inches away from victory when suddenly my oar got stuck in the water mid-stroke and my boat came to a screeching halt, and everyone blamed me. Thank you. The short guy, the Asian guy. And after the race, my parents picked me up, and I remember I started to cry in the backseat of their car. And not these silent, manly tears. I was bawling, ugly crying my 15-year-old heart out. I was devastated, shuddering hiccups, snot running down my face. And after an embarrassing beat, my mom turns to me and she said in Korean, "Don't worry, 작은 고추가 맵다." Which translates to, the smallest pepper is the spiciest. I stare at my mom dumbfounded because the Korean words for pepper and penis are the same. And I was wondering, is this my mother's twisted backwards attempt at parenting by making an Asian dick joke about her own son? I asked her, "Amma, what are you talking about?" She replied, "It means even the smallest among us can make the biggest difference." I wanted to quit, but her words encouraged me, so I kept on rowing. But things only got harder. I remember one practice, I was so nervous trying to keep in rhythm with my teammates' long legs that I accidentally crashed our $24,000 boat into a concrete bridge. And the other guys started to wonder, well, man, maybe Asian people really can't drive. Rowing was the most brutal experience of my life, especially the indoor rowing machine. I would spend painful hours upon hours obliterating my body on that medieval torture device. And the constant friction between the sliding seat and my butt cheeks caused so much chafing. I couldn't shower because the water stung too much. But every time I wanted to quit, I'd remember my mom's words, "작은 고추가 맵다." And if there's one stereotype that's true about Koreans, it's this: we are a stubborn people. So I kept on rowing, and eventually, I became captain of the team. Yeah. And I led my team to win a state championship, and I even ended up rowing for the varsity crew team at Harvard, which I know it sounds obnoxious because it is. But remember this one practice, 5 a.m. practice, my freshman year of college. It was particularly depressing. It was so early in the morning that it was still dark outside, and it was so cold that the river was frozen over. I remember stumbling back to my dorm room, just exhausted. And to decompress, I started watching some reruns of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. And at that moment, I had an existential crisis. I asked myself, why am I killing my body to break these random-ass stereotypes? If I were to just become a TV writer, I could write stories about characters that would break stereotypes for me, and I wouldn't have to train for this sadistic sport anymore. So that's the day I decided to put down my oar and pick up my pen. Yeah. I remember the very last time I walked out of the Harvard boathouse. It was bittersweet. You know, on the one hand, rowing literally made my butt bleed. But on the other, rowing taught me that anything is possible. And today, I'm a professional television writer. I write the stories I wish I saw growing up, starring characters who look like the people in this very room. 작은 고추가 맵다. Just as my mom's words emboldened me, I hope that my stories can champion the smallest, spiciest of peppers. Thank you.
One more time, Minu Park!